On today's episode, we're going to talk about Deutschland and how this country has changed me. Is it for better or for worse? Stay tuned to find out. Hello, Liebling. I'm Madi, science fiction and fantasy author who's been living in southern Germany since 2014. Today, we're going to talk about changes. And no, not the David Bowie song, even though it is a classic. I have lived in Germany for over 6 years now, and I would be lying if I said that my time here hasn't affected me. In fact, when I first arrived, I had gone to visit my Peruvian aunts who lived near Dusseldorf and had been living in Germany for decades. Only a few decades. One of them told me that over time I will, in some ways, become more German. I was totally against this idea because I'm American, gosh darn it! I change for no man or country. Turns out they were right, in a way. But before we get started, hit the subscribe button and ring the bell if you haven't already. Here on Adventures of Lamadi, we talk about writing, living abroad, and everything in between. Of course, there are parts of my personality that will never change. I am half American and half Peruvian, therefore I will always be loud. Being in Germany will never change that. Fight me. But there are a lot of aspects of German life that jives with where I am in this stage of my life and has influenced me. Now, this is not going to be an episode where I shit on the US or even say Germany is a superior country. Like I said, being in Germany has been a great decision for where I am in this moment of my life. I can tell you that because when I first came to Germany in 2007, I was not impressed and actually told myself I would never live in this country. The idea of living in Europe at 21 did not align with where I was mentally compared to when I finally did move to Germany when I was 27. And even then, it took time before I got into the swing of living in Germany. This is a reality of moving to a new country. There are a lot of growing pains while you navigate a new country and culture, and even then, there's no guarantee that living in that country is going to be for you. You could hate it. Personally, Germany has been good for me, for the most part, and I want to talk about the ways that Germany and living in Germany has changed me. So let's dive in. The biggest change is that living in Germany has forced me to slow down. My brain literally goes 1,000,000 miles a minute, and the US is notorious for its hustle culture. Only do things that make you money. If you are doing nothing, then you are not living up to your potential. Bleh. Germany, comparatively, has a much slower lifestyle than in the US. Germans work hard, but they also play just as hard. They take their free time seriously, while in the States, I would get weird looks if I said I wanted to take a vacation longer than the norm. The norm is 1 week, if at all. I will never forget the comments I got from my coworkers from my first job when I took a 3-week vacation to traipse around Ireland and the UK back in 2011. I have to say that is changing. A lot of my generation in the States are realizing the unsustainability of this mentality, but we have a lot of guilt that we have to also work through. I was actually talking about this with some friends back home, and actually we were talking about like the lack of maternity leave in the US, and there's a connection, bear with me. One of my best friend's moms was an ER doctor who only took a week of maternity leave after my friend was born, before going back to work. Think about this. My friend was a week old when her mom went back to work. And it wasn't because her mom didn't love her or that she didn't have the maternity leave. She did, but it was because she felt guilty taking more time off than that because it put extra pressure on her colleagues, who I might add were all male at the time. You can find companies in the States that will provide decent vacation or maternity leave, of course, but we Americans feel guilty about taking any time off because all we can think about is the mountain of work that awaits us when we get back. To the point where you don't even enjoy the vacation because you are so stressed about how much work you're going to get back. Yeah, it's terrible. And this was a mentality that I had to unlearn when I moved to Germany. I had to learn very quickly to find a balance between work and taking time for myself to just stop and smell the roses. And this is really important for me as I try to juggle a full-time job, writing, and YouTube. And there are days where I do have to force myself to stop working so I can recharge my battery, even if I'm unaware that I need to do it. And it's also made me be more aware of my time, and in turn, I've learned to be more efficient doing the time I work and thus, get more done in a shorter amount of time. But at the same time, I have learned to be more patient. German bureaucracy can be rather soul-sucking at times, and the fact that stores and government agencies are only open for a rather short window every day, as well as Germany's dependency on the postal service for like everything instead of digitalizing, it has taught me that I won't always get everything done as quickly as I would back in the States. And it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. You get used to it. Sometimes I still complain about it, but that's kind of all you can do. I know plenty of Germans are also not a fan of this, so, I can take solace in that. I have also learned to be more responsible with my use of social media. I'll never forget one of my friends here in Germany, after friending me on Facebook, saying that they were shocked to see how many photos I had on my account. I joined Facebook back in 2004, and it was back when you had to have a university email address to create an account. And I used to post everything and everyone, and that is literally the opposite here in Germany, where my own husband doesn't like to have his photo posted on social media. And I remember thinking that this was really weird at first. Like, we Americans love being in the center of attention. If we see a camera, we scramble to get in a shot, while Germans scatter in the opposite direction. Obviously, I'm used to it now, and I don't even question not filming or taking photos of people without asking for permission. I usually assume that they don't want it anyway, so I just do my best to keep people out of the shot. But I've also started reducing my use of social media in general. And I think part of it is like, especially out here, whenever I'm at a social event, there's like no reception anyway. So even if I wanted to look at social media, I couldn't because there's no reception. And also I think this part of it has to do with the fact that most of my social media has to do with my author platform. So it's been turning more into work than fun. So if I'm at a festival, I may take photos for myself if I feel like pulling out my phone, but I don't post so much. And if I do, it has to be part of my brand. So yeah, it's just, in the end, then a lot of times I just don't choose to take photographs and just have fun and drink and eat the food, lots of food. So as a result, I have gone back to cherishing my time with my friends and not being on social media at the same time. Most of my friends here in Germany are not really on social media at all. So when you are hanging out with them, you will rarely ever see a phone. And like I said, part of it's because we don't have reception. That plays a big role. But also because it's actually rude to whip out your phone and get onto social media. So yeah, it's very different. It's very different than like when I'm back at home and we have family get-togethers and like all the kids are off in different parts of the living room on social media the whole time. But I will admit, I still use Facebook to check on the fam and friends back home because they do post everything, and I do like the positive of it because I get to see everybody. And I will admit, I still get into the occasional internet fight because it's fun. Or better yet, I follow a thread of arguments before finally posting this gift at the bottom. So obviously there are things that just haven't changed since living in Germany, but where's the fun in that? Overall, I do like the slower lifestyle in Germany. It made me take stock on what my priorities need to be for my current stage of life. I used to get caught up in the more fast-paced, now culture of the US, but after living in Germany, I have come to realize that fast isn't always good. Like I said, German culture, specifically out in the country, is perfect for me right now. It's not for everybody. I know expats that live in Germany or other countries and don't like it, but can't leave for whatever their personal reasons. And I can't talk about their experiences. I can only talk about mine. This is not to say that I would never go back to the US, but Germany is a good fit for me at the moment, so I'm going to continue to enjoy it. And that's it. Thank you so much for joining me. If you're new here, please consider subscribing and give this video a thumbs up. It lets me and YouTube know you like content like this and you want to see more. Please leave a comment if you have any questions or if there's a certain topic you'd like to see on this channel. If you want fun escapism, my Space Fantasy The God Queen is available in ebook, paperback, and hardback. I have all the link in the description below. If you sign up for my newsletter, you get the first 6 chapters for free, as well as an upcoming prequel short story for my newsletter subscribers. So sign up! Also, If you're a heavy reader, please consider leaving reviews, not only for my work, but your favorite authors, because it really helps us out and it is free to do so. And don't forget to connect with me on social media, whether it is through Instagram, Twitter, or Facebook. And that's it. Until next time, adi!